Hello there, folks, and welcome to the Wide Boyz Show. If you are new here, we are all about bringing you a little bit of joy. Of course, we are focused on climbing and crack climbing, but if you don't know that much about climbing, then no problem, because we are here just to give you a little bit of joy and a little bit of tickle in your ears to help you enjoy your day, whatever you are doing at the moment. For today's episode, we have an episode with Matilda Söderlund, and she is a Swedish climber or a Swedish crusher. I'm going to say Swedish crusher because she is a Swedish crusher. She has climbed 9A. She has done multi-pitch routes up to 8C, I believe, and she has competed on the World Cup circuit for a number of years back in her earlier climbing career. Yeah, she is an absolute beast of a climber. And the reason I actually have Matilda on is because a few years ago, I actually did some YouTube filming with Matilda and we went out and we made a few videos. It was actually myself, Matilda, and Emil Abrahamson. And I actually did an interview with Emil. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, then go and check it out. But essentially, all three of us, we went climbing, we did some trad climbing, we did some indoor bouldering, we made some videos together, and we basically had a really good laugh. But in between these few days of filming, I think we were maybe filming for like 4 days or something. In the middle of these 4 days, we sat down and I had an interview with Matilda. This was actually a few years ago now, and I have pulled this interview back from the archive because at the time I did the interview, then we didn't have a podcast, but now we have a podcast. So here it is. Here is the interview. And what I did was I basically asked the YouTube community what they want to ask Matilda. So this is not my interview to Matilda, it is your interview to Matilda. So it is what you guys wanted to hear, what you wanted to ask her. I asked the questions, she gave the answers. No, I didn't ask the questions. You asked the questions, I presented the questions to her, she answered the questions for you. So we have a nice little interview with Matilda. She has some really, really nice points in there. And we should also note that Matilda is extremely strong and extremely talented and basically a very, very good climber. So I think it is worth noting and worth taking note of the things that she says. And maybe we can all apply that to our own climbing as well. And what I also noticed about climbing with Matilda is that she was also very calm and very well collected in different situations, because when we did our filming together, we went on some trad multi-pitch, we did some trad single pitch. She'd done a bit of trad climbing before, but not like a huge amount. I mean, she comes from a competition and sport climbing background, so she's been getting into trad climbing in the recent years. But yeah, I was just very impressed by her sort of like calmness and taking things steadily, not rushing, and just doing things very nicely, securely. And I think that really stood out in her climbing and our climbing together. And what also stood out was, of course, her insanely strong fingers. I remember when we were trying some boulder problems indoors for this filming that we did, and we all set boulder problems to our specific style. So I set a crack boulder, Emil set some pinchy, slopey, dynamic kind of boulder, and then Matilda set some like crimpy, really small, crimpy kind of. I guess she thought it was like quite a simple boulder for her, but I remember, I think maybe did I do it in the end? Maybe I did it in the end, but it did take me a good number of goes, and I remember just watching Matilda on it, and she was just like crushing these crimps, and just like when you crimp and your fingers are just wrapping around the holes and like going down the back of them, and just, but also like she was looking so comfortable on it, like that was her happy place, like how I would feel in a jam, for example, or a stack, or upside down in an off width. That's how Matilda feels on a crimp. And as much that I also love crimping, I mean, I grew up in the Peak District where we have the Peak Limestone, and anybody who's climbed on the Peak Limestone will know that it's kind of absolute filth in a way. Filth in a good way, absolute filth, but just absolute filth. They're just like really ratty, gnarly crimps. So to be fair, I also love a really good crimp as well. Even though I have massive hands, then I do love getting my fingers down the back of a crimp as well. However, watching Matilda on the crimps was definitely inspiring. A different set of fingers on her. That was really good. Also, if you haven't checked out those videos, then just dive back through the archives of the Wide Boyz YouTube, and you'll find those videos both with Matilda and Emil. Both those guys are great company, great laugh. I mean, maybe we should do a little shout out to Emil and Matilda. Maybe we should do something again, do some more videos or something, because I had a great time making those. So it was really fun with the three of us doing something. So yeah, just putting it out there. No idea if you'll listen to this. Maybe Matilda will, if I put her name in the title, then, and maybe I'll send her the podcast and she might listen to it. So there we go. Just a little shout out to you guys. What else? Oh yeah, we have a members only community as well for our listeners and our psyched people who love crack climbing. So if you are psyched on crack climbing, if you want to have more crack in your life, basically, if you want more episodes, if you want more podcasts, if you want more material, if you want to connect with myself and Tom, then come and join us on the inner crack climbing community. So inside we have full-length members-only podcasts, ones that haven't been released to the public. We also have a listeners' questions podcast, so you can send us your questions and then we answer them for you on the podcast. And also some other little bits and bobs, like, for example, if you enjoy reading our newsletter, or actually maybe you didn't even know we have a newsletter. So basically I write a newsletter every single week. It is free. You can go and find it on our website. Just go to our website and look for community and newsletter, and you can sign up to our newsletter. It's free. However, if you enjoy our newsletter and you are signed up, but you haven't been signed up from the beginning, you can come into the community and we have the full back catalogue of newsletters. And our newsletters, they're not newsletters like trying to sell you a roller tape or something like that. They are informational, technical, story-based newsletters, and they're written by me every single week. And it is a way of me providing some little tips or insights or things I've learned in my climbing to you guys. So it could be something about a jam or a little story or tip I picked up from another climber I've been climbing with. And I write those down in the newsletter. It's absolutely free. You can sign up to the newsletter to make sure you get them, or if you come into the community, then you can grab all the past newsletters in there and you can basically have a good feast on them, have a good feast on all that good, nutritious information. So I will leave a link to our inner crack climbing community in the show notes of this video. You can go over there, you can sign up for free for 7 days, you can come inside, you can have a look, you can ask us questions, you can listen to all the content if you want, and then we'd love it if you stayed. We would love it. Just a little bit more crack in your life. Then come and join us inside and we'd be happy to have you. We'd be happy to have you. Come and say hello. And what else? I'm not sure there isn't. Oh, the other thing, I've mentioned this in the last couple of podcasts, but I'm just going to mention it one last time again. We have a new opener. So by a new opener, I mean a new theme tune to our, no, it's not new theme tune, just a new recording of the theme tune to our podcast. One of our listeners of the podcast, Garret Reynolds, he got in touch with us and he offered to make us a little opener, a little jingle, a little podcast sweetener to get us going. And yeah, so just thanks again to Garret Reynolds who made our little podcast opener. And if you want to find him, then you can find him at jam.farm when you need that little musical charm. And also thanks to Hannah. Hannah is Tom's daughter, and she did the recording for this opener. So we've moved from Tom's rusty recording on a guitar to something a little bit nicer, something a bit more professional to sweeten your ears before the actual episode starts. Without any more waffle from me, I hope you enjoyed the episode with Matilda, and take it away, Hannah, with your little opener.
I've been waiting until I'm in the sandstone tower's better than getting out the shower. Then I'm gonna check the old grades, because the old grades will fail. This is the way I'm climbing in the Czech Republic.
So my name is Matilda Söderlund, and I've been climbing for 20 years now. Mostly focused on, well, first it was competitions, then sport climbing, and now I've been tapping into multi-pitch climbing, big wall climbing. I think my most memorable climbing experience was climbing my first 9A, the Elder Statesman in Frankenjura in Germany, and also climbing Rayo, which is a big wall in the northern Spain, a 610-meter 8C mixed climbing. Trad and sport.
Yes, very impressive.
Thank you.
8C multi-pitch, 9A sport climber, absolute beast, and competition World Cup competition finalist.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Long time ago,
yeah.
But still, a good repertoire of things there. Is it Rayu?
Yeah, Ryu.
Ryu?
Yeah. So Ryu, like coming into the project, like I'd never been on an expedition before, so that was completely new for me. And also I'd done very, very little trad climbing. So the trad climbing in itself was the scariest part for sure. And just, I think the first couple of days were mentally the most demanding, because I just felt like total noob on the wall. It was honestly like overwhelming to think that I would be able to climb the whole route, like leading trad pitches and stuff. But as we like progressed into the trip, like I don't know. I mean, I did on-site and led, like, because we divided the pitches, and I did actually on-site some of the pure trad pitches. So that was, I think, a huge breakthrough. But honestly, like, the trad climbing was the scariest part, and it was very exposed climbing at some places. Like, really, you would potentially take like 20-meter falls if you'd fall.
Spicy.
Yeah.
That's spicy. Yeah.
Very spicy.
Yeah. After you climbed Ryu, what was your biggest takeaways in trad climbing compared to the sport climbing that you've done? Because seeing as though it was like your kind of first time trad climbing, what were your biggest takeaways? What did you learn?
That it's a completely different game. Like, there's so much more to think about, especially on-siting trad climbing, because then you have like all this gear, and I mean, you can try to see, but if it's like a 40-meter pitch, like there's nowhere you're gonna see, at least from my unexperienced perspective, like what I'm gonna be able to place where. So, I mean, I think we talked about it, it's felt almost like playing chess, that you need to like really know your pieces and what you placed, and like try to like have some sort of picture of what the upcoming part of the route looks like, so you haven't like placed all your red camps, for example. Like how complex trad climbing is, and like how much there is to learn. And honestly, like it did get me excited to like learn this new discipline of climbing. So very excited about these days, and like to get more into trad climbing and learn the whole thing.
The big question here is, are you good at chess? If trad climbing is like playing chess.
No, but I did have like a period during the summer where I played a lot of online chess.
Okay, there we go.
So
that's going to improve the trad climbing.
The analogy.
maybe chess players are really good trad climbers. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So have you done any of Sweden's hardest trad routes? And if you haven't, which ones would you like to do? And then following on from that, because I know you've got other plans, where would you like to go after that?
So first question, no, I have not done any of the hard trad routes in Sweden. So in Sweden we have on the west coast an area called Bohuslän, which is, I think, world-class trad climbing. And I've spent like a couple of days climbing there, and I've always been like, okay, once I learn how to trad climb, I'm very excited to get on these routes. But there are like some trad climbs that are more sporty, and like where it's mainly about placing gear, and then the climbing is fairly like similar to sport climbing. But then there are also some climbs which are very, I think, X-rated or R-rated, that are like the danger component is very big. And I'm not sure that I want to push my trad climbing in that direction. It's more, I think, I want to learn and be able to move in that sort of terrain. Because I have a dream and goal to go to Yosemite, and then I definitely need to learn how to trad climb and how to crack climb.
Awesome. I'm psyched for you to go to Yosemite when it happens.
Yeah,
I'll be tuning in.
Yeah. Quite the experience.
Yeah. So the next bit is about training, because I know all you guys are always interested in training and how pro athletes are doing what they're doing and how they've gotten to be so good. So first question from you guys to Matilda is, how does your training year look, and how do you kind of itemize it out to get to the goals? So like this past couple of years, like I think for me the season normally starts in like March, April, and then sort of goes on till November. So I'll focus a lot on training from December until March. And then, I mean, I try to have like a base of endurance that I build up like
in the first time of that period. And then I mostly do focus on power training. And then like the last bit is just putting it together for like power endurance, because I do still mostly do like sport climbing, or maybe not trad climbing, but I don't consider myself like that I have a focus on bouldering only. But in the recent years, I've like invested a lot of time to just become stronger, because in the past, I like definitely was not a strong climber. I was mostly relying on like technique, endurance, and finger power. And that's been a huge part of me progressing over the past like 4 or 5 years, that I did invest a lot of time in like, proper gym training, just becoming stronger, because that was my biggest weakness.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Matilda has the strongest fingers of steel when she's crimping that you've ever seen. Because you are so good at holding really small holds and crimps, what is it about that makes you so good? Is it positioning? Is it friction on the holds? Is it really just like raw power and training of the finger strength? Or what is your ability to be able to hold those really small holds? Technique in the finger positions, or do you know? Do you know what it is?
Honestly, I do not know. I think I've been thinking about it though, because it is like the one thing in my climbing that's like, I think, my superpower in climbing. But I think it has like layers to it, because I started climbing when I was 11 and was still growing. And I think my body adapted to climbing quite quickly. So I think, my hands are pretty big. I think that's because I started climbing when I was so young. And I think back in the day, like it was more about climbing on like small holes and like, but also technique and like body position on the wall. So I think that's partly too that I like from a very young age like learned to climb on small holes, and that my fingers adapted to that, and luckily did not get injured, because I think that's just pure luck, I think, because I know that I would not recommend like kids climbing on small crimps, but back in the day like we didn't know, so so part of luck to that. But then I think that maybe I'm good at finding like positions on the wall where I'm able to be in like a good position in relation to the hold and like generate force from that. And it's been interesting, like becoming stronger compared to what I was before. I felt like that actually increased my ability to hold on to smaller holds. Because being stronger, I was able to be in a better position on the wall in like more positions, like where I could not, really pull on before. I was just relying on like finger power and technique. I could suddenly like use my muscles to be in like the position, and that like I think helped me to sort of gain more finger power. But then I don't know, because nowadays I like don't do any specific training for my fingers.
They're just naturally from doing it.
The one thing I've done though, which has been interesting, like so before I climbed like the Elder Statesman, the 9A, I did not do any hangboarding. I did climb a lot on like very small holes, like bouldering and sport climbing indoors. But what I did in the gym was to like train each finger like separately.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And I feel like that's the strongest I've ever been in my fingers.
And how were you doing that?
So super basic. I did like the rings just hanging from a bar. And then I would just stand and do like this, when you do this rowing exercise, but just with one finger. At a time.
In crimp or
no, just
open
like
positions?
Open position.
Yeah.
Like 10 times on each finger.
Yeah.
times 3, and then I would just adjust like the difficulty of the exercise by like moving back and forth with my feet and body. And then I also did like quite a lot of like 2-finger climbing with like good feet. So there would not be like any risk of me slipping with my feet and like getting injured. So like a lot of 2-finger climbing, and I felt like that type of just like focusing on each finger individually, like really was very interesting. I've never felt so strong in my fingers before.
Yeah, that is interesting. I have heard a couple of other like top level climbers doing that as well. who are like really strong boulderers. So yeah, interesting that you've done it.
Yeah, I think that they're also doing like some studies on that type of finger training. So it will be interesting to see like the outcome of that. But then, I mean, there are some very nerdy things like, I don't know, nail polish.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a mental thing or if it actually helps, but like having really strong nails, I think you can have like slightly longer nails, and that sort of supports the finger, and so that the skin doesn't really roll up. Like now my nails are like slightly too short. If you want to like...
So you grew your nails to the perfect length for your 9A? And then,
maybe, and then like layers and layers of nail polish.
Yeah, like 2 weeks of nail polish training. Yeah, build up. It's like when we go crack climbing, before we go finger crack climbing on a trip, instead of, we like sandpaper it down the sides of our fingers to like strengthen up the skin. It's like simple sort of stuff.
Very specific
nerdy techniques. Yeah. One more question, because this is my own question actually, rather than the audience question. But have you ever done any thumb training?
I haven't.
No, because I'm interested in this in terms of like, especially if you're crimping, like the strength of the thumb pulling down on that. I wonder if there is anything in it.
Yeah, I really see what you mean. It would be interesting. Like, it would be interesting, first of all, to know like how strong the thumb is on like different climbers. Because I think I have pretty weak thumbs in terms of
really
pinching.
weak thumbs.
And also I have like this, they're like over bending.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's not ideal if you want to be able to like apply a lot of force.
Yeah.
But that's interesting though. Maybe we should lattice.
Yeah, lattice.
Figure it out.
Thumb hangs. Crikey. Yeah.
Or just like from pulling like this with like weights from the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thumb pulls.
Maybe that's what we should do today.
Yeah. I think there's something in it. Okay, folks, before we get on to the next question, I would just like to remind you that our crack gloves, our new crack gloves, although are they new? They've been out a few months now. But our new crack gloves, our Master Jam crack gloves, are available. You can find them on our website. It's something me and Tom have been working on for a long time now, and we've been putting all the feedback and sort of info we have gathered from our original crack glove, and we have been putting it into this new crack glove. And honestly, we really love it. It's great. We have a new rubber, a new fit, slightly new shape. We've improved the rubber, we've improved the fit, we've made some tweaks to the finger loops, to the thumb loop, to the wrist strap, and basically just tried to improve the glove as much as possible to make crack climbing easier for you guys and more enjoyable, more comfortable, and basically so it'll help you get up your climbs. So if you are interested in the Master Jam crack glove, it's really easy. Just go to our website, wideboyz.com, and you will find the Master Jam crack gloves on there. At the moment, it's on our homepage. Oh, and also if you use them on your project or a climb or something at the gym or something outside, then make sure to just tag us on social media, because we always love what you are doing, what crack climbs you're doing, and what climbs you're doing in the gloves. So tag us, and that's it. Next question from Matilda. Here we go. What is your one piece of advice for trying to get strong? Or let's say trying to get strong/better as a climber?
So I think the first part is to, assess your weakness, where you need to put in the work. And also if that's necessary, if you're weak at something that won't really benefit your climbing, then I don't see, much of a point in like investing a lot of time and energy into that. But if it's, pulling power or pushing or finger power, then, I would focus on that, because if that's like a big weakness of yours. Like it was for me with like just, once I started doing like proper pulling power training, I felt like I progressed a lot in a short period of time. But then I think overall, just to like maintain a variety in your training and like climb as much different styles and angles and different hold types and different disciplines as possible, I think that's the best way, especially if you're a new climber, to like build a solid base and like progress and just becoming a more, I think, versatile and experienced climber, because the more moves you sort of have in your bank of movements, the better climber I think you will become in the long run. To finish off, we have some crack questions, and I did this with Emil, and I also did this with some of the
top climbers who were at the Red Bull dual ascent.
Oh.
I'm going to make a crack, and you have to demonstrate what you think
I'm gonna be
the jam
terrible.
is. So we've got three jams.
Okay.
Okay, so first one, we'll start off with a hand jam.
Like this.
Should we show that to the audience? Yes, spot on. Okay,
One thing I've learned.
Yeah. The next ones we haven't actually done.
Okay.
So this is just, you just have to give it your best guess. Yeah. Okay, next one is an arm bar.
Oh. Okay. We just go like this.
It's a good effort.
Yeah.
I'll show you what the answers are afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and the next one, this is in a roof crack. So think roof.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna sound very odd.
Yeah.
A wide pony.
How wide is it?
It's probably about that.
A wide pony.
Yeah. So you might have to get on the floor.
Oh, it's with the feet as well.
Yes.
Oh,
so
wow.
you're upside down.
Maybe I do like something like
Yeah.
this,
So
jamming my feet. Oh, that sounds super painful though.
Yeah. So if I'm the crack. See?
I just feel like this.
I mean, it's not. Yeah.
This, like this.
It's a good effort to
Yeah.
say. It's a good effort. That's actually what we call. That was going to be my next one.
Oh.
That's a trout tickler.
Trout tickler.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where
Like
you.
the fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the trout. That's where you
Yeah.
jam like an upper body part with a lower body part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the wide pony.
The wide pony. So this is where you're doing like this
Yeah.
in the crack, a stack, and then you're upside down like this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you're like crabbing along. The name comes from, if you imagine.
You're sitting on a pony.
Yeah, you're sitting on a pony.
Yeah.
The second one, arm bar.
Arm bar.
You're close. So you did a shoulder bar, which is this way,
Yeah.
which is what you were actually doing at the top of the route that we
Yes.
did the other day.
Yeah.
So that's shoulder bar. Arm bar is essentially just moving this part of the arm more like this. And generally when we're climbing on wide cracks, we switch from arm bars to shoulder bars. And we do a mixture of both,
Yeah.
of all of them. Yeah.
What's the most painful jam? Because this sound very painful.
Yeah, these are quite powerful rather than painful. I mean, they can get painful if you do it in a t-shirt, for example. I always think if you're doing crack climbing and you're using decent technique, then it's never actually too painful. But when it becomes painful is when you're getting really tired
Yeah.
and you start to like thrutch.
Yeah.
Or if you're using the wrong technique,
Yeah.
then it starts to get painful.
Yeah, like me and Emma the other day.
Yeah. No, you did great. You did great. Okie dokie. Thank you very much, Matilda, for those fantastic answers. And thanks to you lovely folks out there for listening in, tuning in. I hope to speak to you again sometime. And I would love it if you tuned in to our next episode. Like I say, if you are new here, that's great. You're early because we're new. We're new to the podcasting game. So make sure to check out some of our previous episodes. There's a few in the catalogue. Yeah, we look forward to speaking again. I hope you're having a lovely day and you are doing some fantastic crack climbing wherever you are in the world. Okie dokie, over and out for now.